Hello guys, welcome to a kitchen update. So if you haven't already seen this is what the kitchen looked like on the day that we moved in. Apologies for the shaky camera, I hadn't sorted my camera settings out there. But as you can see, it is really old fashioned. There are carpet tiles, the tiles on the wall are horrendous, the colour of the wall is shocking. We've got this serving hatch which goes through into the living room. There's only a few cupboards there and there's nothing is inbuilt at all, so we knew that we were going to have a lot of work to do to get this done. What we weren't expecting though was for it to catch fire on the day that we moved in, and this is what it looked like. So this was the morning after we moved in. The fire started here in the kitchen. It wasn't on fire for very long, but as you can see, it has done so much damage. The whole kitchen is obviously completely ruined, like even ceilings are gone, we've got electrical wires hanging down, windows and doors are blown out, everything is either burnt or smoke damaged or water damaged from the fire brigade. So all of a sudden our kitchen that we were going to try and put up with for a few months has to be done straight away. It took our insurance company 10 weeks to decontaminate the property, and obviously in that time we couldn't touch anything. By the time we could get in there, everything was ruined from the smoke and soot damage that we left in there. So once they decontaminated it, we could start getting everything stripped out. We decided that we were going to do the work ourselves rather than have the insurance company come in and do it, because of what the property looked like before. The insurance company would just do like for like replacements, and obviously there's no point in doing that, it's all too old, it all needed updating properly. So we decided we were going to do the work ourselves. So John started with stripping everything out, and as you can see, here he is trying to actually get everything done. I was pregnant at this point, I was like 20 weeks pregnant, so I wasn't really any help at all in this bit. The ceiling had to come down because obviously it was all burnt. The roof had to be repaired as well, because this bit here that you can see is a flat roof extension and the fire had burnt through the beams, so that had to be done. And then once John had taken all the ceilings down, it exposed the amazing 60s and 70s wiring, which again, that all had to be replaced because quite a bit of it had been burnt through.
Get the insulation out in a bit, drop that in the skip. Sitting down in the kitchen. Not entirely sure what the hell that is.
And while everything had been like completely stripped back to bare brick walls, we decided to get the heating system replaced as well. And obviously you can't just do a tiny bit of a heating system when it's that old, so that is everything here ready to be put in. And you can see in this video how awful the pipework is, because there's like 3 different pipes all going various different places. So that was a massive job in itself.
That top pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, so does that
Which seems like
coincide with the measurements from the kitchen?
so that's about 950.
Yeah.
930.
It seems to be pretty much where it was before then.
Yeah. And then 930. see if we can get a little chalk line going. You ready, baby? You ready?
Are you coming to help Daddy?
So I need someone to hold one end of this. I think it's going to have to be you because...
Probably, but... Right.
Right, you watch this. Right, you hold this, so hold that on there. No, you let go of that because it's covered in chalk.
Hatch is definitely going to have to come out.
You got it? You grip it tight?
Yep. Once it had all been stripped out, it was time to start measuring up for one, where the kitchen was going to go, how we wanted it to look, and two, how we wanted the electrics and the heating system to look. And I didn't realise how much was going to go into redoing the whole electric system. How long do those things last, like before they have no chalk left?
No, you get refills, but that's 25 years old.
Neither of us had ever done anything like this before on this scale. Obviously we did renovations on our last house, but it was nothing like this. And trying to project manage it and figure out what the steps needed to be whilst going through the whole traumatic experience of having the fire was really taxing. But here John is starting to take out the heating system, so he's had to drain it down, and again that's not something we've needed to do before. So he's got a garden hose which he's drained all the manky stuff out, and the owner of the house before was an old lady, so I don't think anything had been done to sort of maintain anything in the house in however many years. So as you can see, it's a bit gross and not as drained down as John would have hoped. While John was doing this, I was back at our temporary rental trying to design the kitchen. So once we'd measured it all up, and I think we probably measured about 5 or 6 times just to make sure that we had the measurements exact, I could then get on with putting together the kitchen design. We use DIY kitchens and it is all DIY. You do have to do the whole design and everything yourself. They are really helpful. They will answer any questions you've got, but using their planner thing does take a while to get used to. It's sometimes quite clunky. Obviously, if you've got no kitchen design, it takes a while to figure out what you're doing. But we did manage to do it ourselves. We managed to design the whole kitchen. We knew what we were looking for, what style we wanted, and it was I actually felt like I was doing something whilst I was doing this, because obviously I couldn't do any of the physical stuff, so I felt quite useless. But I did do most of the kitchen design myself. Obviously John had input in it because it's his kitchen too, but I am quite proud of the fact that I did this. We soon came to the realisation that if we wanted to get this house ready to move in before the baby was born, we were going to need some help, because John was trying to do this after work and at weekends on his own, and it just wasn't going quick enough. He couldn't do it all by himself, so we hired a building firm. I'm just going to add here that John is qualified as an electrician, so can do all the electrics himself. Ceilings, non-burnt ceilings. And then where John's done all the wiring, they filled all that in. All like the burnt bits and stuff have gone. Ceiling up there. They've obviously run out of plaster. And the doors and windows are getting fitted next week, I think. Once the builders started, everything started moving really quickly. So you can see here, The kitchen is now completely plastered. John has got all the wiring done, and we hired a plumbing company as well to come and help with the pipe work, because again, that all needed to be done before the kitchen could be done, and we needed everything to be done before we moved in, so we were so time bound with this. The kitchen and living room, no, the kitchen and utility room have been delivered. Well, I don't think we can get to the garden, can we? And there is a lot of it. But it all comes pre-built, so that saves having to do that. Let's see what else is going on. Replacement doors and windows fitted, which have made a huge difference to how it looks in there. The electrics aren't live at this point. They'd stayed off for months and months and months. We just had a temporary supply of 2 sockets. And here it is. So it isn't finished because we needed to get like the stuff we needed to use in before doing anything like painting or skirting boards, but it is in and usable. So you can see in the doorway there, that's pretty much that, and the other door out of the kitchen. That's all that's left of the evidence of the fire really in here. And then you can see data cables, lighting and stuff all done. And it does look pretty much like the plan that we made. That is our emergency table that we had when we moved into the temporary accommodation. It's not meant to be there forever, we will need to replace it, but it's doing the job at the moment. Fridge, freezer, built-in microwave and a double oven. These are the handles that I got from AliExpress. Isabel's flowers, she picked me there. There we go. Nice new door. New windows, no blinds. Which was fine until we cut all the trees down. Hob. An extractor, so as I said, we've gone for an induction hob so that can't set fire to anything. And my favourite thing about the kitchen. How good's that tap? No windowsill yet, still need to get a new one of those. And then we've got dishwasher in there, more cupboards and drawers. The washing machine and tumble dryer are in the utility room. And there's Cecily. This bit here hasn't really been used much for food prep. This is sort of where we're putting our decorating stuff, paint samples. Still not decided what we want to do about the bin situation. I don't want to do a built-in one because we get through too much rubbish. You can see there's still some fire damage in there. We've also got an extra fridge in the utility room. The utility room is 3 there, and it's almost done too. But there we go, guys. Fully functional kitchen, if not quite aesthetically finished. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.